Oh, another day in paradise. We have all our bases set up. Should just be a little bit more tweaking and fooling around. Fingers crossed that nothing nothing else breaks. But at this point, everything should be pretty stable.
Just short transfer for a while, you know. What?
Hours of swapping gear and changing settings later, we've finally figured out what bass we're gonna use. And back to the beginning with the Spectre, which is actually pretty stoked about. We shot out so many combinations of pedals and basses and other DIs and preamps and everything under the sun. And for those of you that are watching and thinking, wow, there's not a whole lot of playing going on. Well, there is. I haven't shown a good chunk of it because it's just me playing the same riff over and over and over again. The other major part of playing in the studio is setting up and stringing basses over and over again. You can only get so much playing on a set of strings before they start wearing out. For live, that's not such a big deal, but in the studio it makes a really big difference if your songs aren't sounding consistent. This is the other thing I'm not a huge fan of on this bridge of the Spectre. Because there's no actual hole at the back to string it through, there's no way to really secure it as you're putting tension on the string. So it's got to be flippy floppy around. Unless there's a better way of doing it, I'm not too sure. And you might be thinking, wow, that's awful tedious work having to restring all these basses. And you'd be right. And you may be thinking, oh, maybe you should just have someone do that for him. And you'd also be right. I've actually got a team of highly trained professionals that sit behind the camera. Just for this one, they let me do it so I could get some cool shots for the vlog. Can't be afraid to reef on it. It's a little scary, but like, you just gotta break these strings in, otherwise they do not tune at all. You just gotta lay into her. She's almost good to go. Final step here is to tune it, lay into pulling on it, tune it, lay into pulling on it, and then over time it'll eventually get stable. Oh, and to be clear, like, I'll be playing and showing some riffs, but since this isn't technically album promotion at this point, I'm gonna leave a lot of it alone. Once we track The Horror, which is that single we already released, I'll be showing mostly that since it's already out there, but I don't want to give spoilers for the rest of the album. You'll just have to all wait in suspense. But I will be taking a ton of footage, and as we get closer to the album or after the album release, if we do like a little making of thing for the band versus just my own personal stuff, you'll be seeing it then. But don't worry, there will be plenty of cool stuff that I'm showing in the meantime. So this is a section of the video I like to call Kevin's Nightlight Recap. Today was a similar day to yesterday. It was just a whole lot of experimentation. For the basses, we spent most of our time on the Spectre the Music Man, and there was 2 Lakeland basses. Every time we switched basses and messed around with it, it would sound so awesome. And then after that, we would be like, oh god, is this the right one? And then try the next one, and then it would sound amazing. Switch again to something else, and so we really had an issue of abundance of great tone, if anything. And tomorrow it looks like we should be getting quite a bit of stuff laid down. That's the thing about studio life, is that 95% of it is setting things up. It's about 4% exploring new gyms and flipping tires, and then that other 1% is actually getting to play your instrument. So, all said and done, I guess I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.